They say demons don't dream, but I do. Every time I close my eyes, I see a village bathed in morning light. The air smells like fresh bread and damp earth, and there's always a girl named Anna. She walks to the well with a wooden pail, humming some old tune I almost remember. She smiles when she sees me. Every time she smiles, and every time I wake up in the dark, the stones drip, the chains hum with the horned one's will. My master doesn't speak, but when he does, he speaks in my mind and my soul.
You are mine. You are not that thing you dream of.
But he's wrong, or I hope he is. Because in those dreams I feel warm, I feel whole, I feel human. I don't know if Anna is real. I don't know if the village ever existed. Maybe it's a leftover scrap from whatever I was before the flames took me. Maybe it's just a lie my mind tells itself to keep from breaking. But even if it's a lie, it's my lie, and I'll keep dreaming it, no matter how much it hurts. Because if I ever forget her smile, then all I have left is darkness. And he is waiting in that darkness, the horned one. The horned one is not a creature meant for mortal eyes. Even in this forsaken place, where light is a stranger and shadows cling like parasites, he towers, a mountain of muscle and bone, wrapped in flesh that steams like it remembers fire. His body is shaped like a man's, if a man had been carved by something ancient and cruel, all jagged sinew and obsidian muscle built to crush. But it's his head that haunts me most. His horns are colossal, sweeping back from his skull in thick curved arcs like the tusks of some infernal beast. They pulse with heat, ridged and cracked as if formed in the heart of a dying star. Two dominate his crown, rising like spires of polished obsidian, while smaller, jagged horns cluster along his jaw and shoulders like a natural armor. They look less like ornaments and more like weapons, grown, not worn. When he moves, they scrape against stone, carving deep, gouging trails, each motion echoing like thunder through the dark. He doesn't wear his horns, he is his horns, violence given shape, royalty forged in nightmare. His mouth, when it opens, is a wound that never heals. Rows upon rows of teeth, uneven and wet, jut out at impossible angles, not made for speech, not even for feeding, just for ending things. He never speaks aloud. He doesn't have to. His voice blooms inside my skull like rot, cold, commanding, absolute. It isn't a sound, it's a presence, slithering through my thoughts, curling around the pieces I keep hidden. When he speaks, I feel my knees buckle, my will shrink. All I know is that I belong to him. At least, that's what he keeps telling me. But I must have been human once. I can feel it deep inside me as I watch the transformation unfold. As I stare into the puddle next to the fire, I see the reflection of something that doesn't belong here, not fully. I see the black skin, thick and rough, the claws now longer and sharper than before, the golden eyes that never used to burn so brightly. The truth settles in like a cold weight, pulling my chest tight. The way my body is changing, this isn't the way a demon's form should feel. The firelight flickers, and I see it more clearly. I must have been human. I must have had a life before this, before the horned one, before the darkness. But what will I become now? The thought gnaws at me as I turn away from the puddle, watching my new reflection dissolve in the ripples. Just as I begin to wonder what's left of me, the air grows thick, suffocating, like something ancient and terrible is stirring beneath the surface. Then he speaks. The voice blooms inside my skull, cold, commanding, absolute. It's not a suggestion. It's not a question. It is the will of the horned one, and I have no choice but to obey.
Move.
His command slithers into my mind like a knife through soft flesh, and the earth trembles beneath my feet. Before I can even react, I feel the shift, something in the atmosphere as though the world itself is bending to his will. The ground cracks open, a deep rift splitting wide through the earth. The smell of sulfur and burning ash fills the air, and dark clouds swirl overhead, blocking out the sun. It's not just a storm, It's the weight of his wrath, gathering like a curse over the land. I stand there, rooted to the spot, as the earth groans and shudders. From the crack in the ground, they start to emerge. First claws, huge gnarled claws like blackened trees reaching for the sky, then massive bodies writhing and squirming as they claw their way into the world above. The demons pour forth, spilling from the rift in a flood of rotting flesh and razor-sharp teeth. They surge forward like a tidal wave of destruction, tearing through the earth, their growls shaking the very air. I don't need to look at the Horned One to know he is watching. He commands me with his gaze alone. He doesn't have to speak again. A village comes into view just as the sun begins to bleed across the horizon, casting long shadows over tilled fields and crooked rooftops. It's a modest place, wooden fences leaning, smoke curling from stone chimneys, a few weathered carts left out under trees. Quiet, peaceful. It doesn't deserve what's coming. The horde descends without warning. The first demon lands like a boulder hurled from heaven, its weight splintering a barn in half, sending livestock screaming into the fields. Another crashes through a thatched roof, dragging a shrieking figure into the air before tearing it in two. The others flood behind them, black shapes with eyes like molten gold, their bodies steaming, gnashing, clawing through everything that moves. Doors are ripped off hinges, flesh is torn from bone, flames rise where the claws strike stone. The sky darkens, not with cloud but with smoke, choking thick, curling in every direction. I stand at the edge of it all, unmoving. Children scream, mothers grab them and run. Men try to fight, grabbing axes, swinging wildly, hopelessly. One manages to bury a blade in a demon's neck. It doesn't even flinch. It just grabs him, lifts him high and twists. The bones snap like twigs. I watch it all. The demons are relentless. They are not an army. They are a plague. They surge through the village like fire through dry grass. Homes collapse, trees split. The air smells of blood and burning wood. Still I do not move. One of the horned beasts turns to me as it slaughters a horse, its tusked mouth slick with gore. Its eyes pass over me, then turn away. I am one of them, or I am supposed to be. But my hands shake. Something clutches at my chest, tight and unrelenting. Not fear. Fear is long gone. It's something deeper, older. Memory, maybe. Not of this place, not of these people, but of light, of laughter, of someone who once smiled when she saw me. They are not Anna, but they are someone. I feel the Horned One's presence press into me like the flat of a blade to the back of the neck, insistent, patient, waiting. I am meant to join the slaughter. I am meant to destroy. Instead, I watch a girl, no more than 10, crawl from a collapsed house, her arm broken, her face streaked with tears. She stares up at me, eyes wide. She doesn't scream. She just looks at me, like she's not sure what I am. Neither am I. The girl's gaze holds me, not with fear, but with something worse, hope, like she thinks I might help her, like she thinks I still can. And in that moment I take one step toward her, just one. That's all it takes. The air stills, the sky shudders, and then pain, unimaginable, pure, consuming pain. It lances through my skull like a lightning strike, driving me to my knees with a snarl. My claws rake the earth, smoke rising from where they scrape stone. My body convulses, my vision tunnels. The Horned One's will doesn't speak, it invades. 1,000 blades of thought, each one slicing away something I didn't even know I was holding on to.
You hesitate.
He hisses inside my mind, his voice coiling through the marrow of my bones. A presence descends behind me, his presence. The very ground groans under his weight. I dare not look. I couldn't, even if I wanted to. My head is crushed beneath the weight of his unseen gaze. The Horned One steps forward, towering over me, over the village. His horns scrape the sky, his shadow swallows fire. And then he moves. Not toward the villagers, but toward me. The demons nearby freeze, even they fear him. I try to rise, my knees buckle, my mouth opens, but I can't speak, only choke on the smoke in my lungs and the shame in my soul. He crouches beside me, massive and still. And in that terrible stillness his voice becomes a whisper.
You are forgetting your place.
He reaches out with a clawed hand, curling it around my face, not gently. His fingers are iron bands, burning with old power. He lifts me off the ground with ease, as if I weigh nothing at all. The child watches. He sees her too. His head turns, slowly, deliberately, and then back to me.
Shall I teach you again what you are?
A flick of his wrist, and he hurls me across the village. I crash through a half-standing wall, stones shattering around me, pain blooming down my spine. The world spins. I taste blood. When I try to rise again, the command comes sharper this time, cold as the grave.
Kill.
And this time my body obeys before my soul can catch up. I rise, half limping, half dragged by the weight of his will. My claws throb with heat. My muscles jerk like puppet strings pulled taut. There is no resistance left in my limbs. He has stripped that from me. The first man I see is trying to shield someone, his wife maybe. He holds a broken rake like a sword, legs trembling, face streaked with ash and resolve, a hopeless defense. I don't want to kill him, but I do. My arm lashes out, the rake snaps. My claw punches through his chest, past ribs, past resistance. His mouth opens in shock. He gurgles, then falls. The woman screams. She falls to her knees beside the man's body, her hands pressed to his chest like she can hold the life in. I don't wait. My claw flashes quick and final. Her head jerks, her voice cuts off mid-sob. She drops beside him, limp. The next comes faster. An old man stumbling from a hut, wielding a fire poker. He barely sees me before I slice him down. Then another, and another. The world becomes a blur of movement and blood. My claws swing, my body moves, and I feel nothing but fire in my veins. The screams fade to background noise. My face is blank. Inside I scream with every blow, but it's silent, a scream only I can hear. And still he watches. Every movement is a reminder that I belong to him. But it's more than that. I feel it, in the tremble of the earth, in the way the shadows pulse and breathe. With each scream, each death, each crumbling wall, the horned one grows stronger. Not just in presence, not just in command, in substance. The air thickens, saturated with misery. Every sob that breaks, every plea that dies unheard feeds him. The smoke curling from burning homes doesn't just rise, it coils around him like incense, wrapping his massive form in threads of agony. His chest swells with it, his horns burn brighter. The ground beneath him blackens, stone cracking and bleeding as though the land itself cannot bear his weight. He feeds on ruin the way flame feeds on wood. I feel it in my bones, in the pull that drags at my spine. He is not just watching, he is drinking. Every life I end is a cup. He tips back, savoring the pain like wine aged in despair. A woman dies with her child in her arms, clawed down by a demon behind me. I don't turn around. I don't need to. I feel the surge in him. His breath fogs the sky, and I realize this destruction, it isn't just conquest, it's ritual. This is how he grows, not through worship, not through prayer, through obliteration. Every memory lost, every heart broken, every hope extinguished, it nourishes him. The weaker the world becomes, the stronger he is. The more hollowed out the land, the more rooted his dominion. That's why he makes us kill, not just to win, to harvest. And we are the blades he swings. I stumble, clutching my chest as another surge of power radiates from him, washing over the field like a heat wave. My skin smolders, my mind reels. Somewhere, a child's scream rises into the dusk, and I feel him swell, like a god of rot and cinder, like something eternal. He doesn't need a throne. He builds one from the ashes, and then silence. The last scream dies, strangled beneath collapsing timber. The final heartbeat fades into stillness. No one is left. Not the old man with the poker, not the mother who screamed, not the girl with the broken arm, not even the dogs. The village is gone. What remains is a carcass of a place, bones of buildings jutting from the earth like the ribs of a starved beast. Fire licks at what little still stands, embers dancing in the choking air. Smoke coils upward in lazy spirals, veiling the sky in a shroud of grief. Ash covers everything, the fields, the cobblestones, my hands. Charred silhouettes mock the walls, burnt echoes of those who tried to flee too late. Doors hang from one hinge. A cart smolders, its wheels still spinning slowly, pointlessly, like the world hasn't yet realized it's over. The soil drinks the blood, but it can't keep up. It pools in shallow craters, dark and still, reflecting the flames above like some twisted mirror. I stand in the middle of it all, breathing, barely. My claws drip. My heart does not beat faster. My skin does not tremble. I feel empty. Around me the horde gathers, silent now, their work done. The demons tower and crouch and crawl across the wreckage, watching the sky, watching him. And he stands at the center, the horned one. Throneless, crownless, more king than any who ever lived. Steam pours from his mouth as he exhales, slow and satisfied. The ground cracks beneath his hooves. The air bends around him. He's full now, sated. His eyes, those burning coals of ruin, turn toward me. And though he doesn't speak, I hear him.
This is what you are made for.
The wind shifts. The smoke parts, not by chance, but as if commanded, and all at once the demons begin to turn. One by one they slink from the ruins, snarling beasts and twisted titans, spined and seething, moving with the mechanical grace of predators who know the taste of victory. Some crawl, dragging chains of fire behind them. Others stalk upright, limbs too long, eyes too bright. All of them return to the rift, the bleeding wound in the earth from which they came. The ground welcomes them. The fissure groans as they descend, molten rock pulsing along its jagged edges like veins. One by one they vanish, swallowed by the chasm, leaving behind only claw marks and smoke. No words, no triumph. Only the silence of something unfinished. The horned one remains for a moment longer, unmoving, as if savoring the ruin. Then he turns. His horns carve the air as he steps past me, each stride a declaration. He doesn't look at me, but his presence brushes against mine like a brand across the soul. A silent order passes through the bond between us.
Follow.
I do. My legs obey before my mind can protest. The chains around my will tighten. My claws dig into the scorched earth as I walk, leaving tracks beside his, though they never quite match. We move beyond the village, past the corpses and the crumbled homes, past the trees blackened by fire and the river running dark with ash. The land yields to him, bending in quiet fear. And ahead, in the distance beyond the hills, another village. We reach the village beneath a sky that never changes. We pass through its broken gates, where demon claws left long furrows in the wood. They're brittle now, those marks. Dust gathers in them. Inside the village the stillness deepens. Even the wind avoids this place. My claws click against stone as we move between husks of buildings and the charred remains of lives once lived. The air here is thick, not with smoke, but with memory. The horned one walks ahead, unbothered. We stop at the well. It sits at the center of the square, surrounded by a ring of scorched cobblestones and old ash. The stones are blackened, cracked from heat, long faded. A rope still hangs from the crossbeam, frayed and limp, swaying in a wind that doesn't blow. I know this place from a dream. But now standing here, feeling the stone underfoot, breathing in the ash-thick air, it doesn't feel like a dream anymore. It feels like memory, familiar in the way a scar is familiar, forgotten until touched. I stare at the well, the same cracks, the same weathered stone, even the same notch carved in the rim, shaped like a crescent, just wide enough for a child's hand. I ran my fingers along that once. In the dream there were voices, faces warm and clear, faces I cannot recall now, only the feeling of them. It wasn't a nightmare, it was peace. And now it is gone, smothered in fire and shadow. I take a step back. The rope sways harder now, twitching like it senses me. The horned one says nothing, but I can feel his gaze, burning, knowing. He brought me here on purpose. This isn't just ruin, it's mine. He's watching to see if I recognize it, to see if I'll break. The well pulses, and for a moment, just a heartbeat. I hear the sound of water, cold, clear, running far below. But this place is dry now. I close my eyes, and in the dark behind my lids I see it again, the well, the sky, the voices, and her, Anna. Red hair catching sunlight like fire without heat, a braid half finished, always slipping loose, always laughing, always daring. She's sitting on the well's edge, legs swinging, holding a flower in her hand like it means something, like it could stop the world from breaking. She sees me and smiles. That smile, it shatters something in me. I take a step back in my mind, but the memory drags me forward. I can feel the warmth of that afternoon, the quiet before the storm, the way her voice called my name, not in fear, not in pain, in joy, like I belonged there, like I was someone worth calling to. And then memory doesn't drift back. It crashes. All at once, the dam inside me breaks and I remember everything. Not just fire, not just screams. Before that, before him. He came to our village as a man, not a king, not a god, not a beast with hooves and burning eyes. A traveler. The earth split at his feet. The sky screamed. He changed, not like shifting skin or cracking bones, like something inside him woke up and burned everything else away. Horns pushed through his skull, his back arched unnaturally, his eyes caught flame, and his shadow stretched like it was alive. Still, we stood our ground. Axes, blades, torches. We fought like men who still believed they could win. We didn't. I remember the heat, the sound of flesh searing, screams cut short. The ground was wet with blood and too hot to stand on. I was the last one breathing. Barely. I remember now. All of it. The smoke, the screams, the heat that didn't feel like fire, but like something ancient waking from a long sleep. And then, him. The traveler no more. Towering, horned, a silhouette of hunger and hate wrapped in flame. He charged me. I didn't even see him move. Just the blur of muscle and darkness in eyes like coals. Then air. Spinning sky. I flew. Like a doll thrown by a cruel hand. I hit the ground hard, bones cracked, breath fled. And there she was, Anna, standing only a few feet away. Frozen, her eyes wide, too wide, her braid coming loose, her chest rising and falling in short, shallow gasps. She hadn't run. I tried to move, to reach her. My arm wouldn't work. Anna? My voice was broken, choked. My ribs felt like splinters inside me, but I forced the words out. What are you still doing here? Run! Tell everyone to run! Her eyes snapped to mine. Fear, yes, but also something deeper. Refusal. She didn't want to leave me. She hesitated. Gods, she hesitated. But then she ran. Her bare feet slapped against the cracked stone. Her braid whipped behind her like a ribbon of fire. She disappeared into the smoke, past the broken carts and burning houses, toward the village square. I thought that would be the last time I ever saw her. I thought I'd bought her time, but I'd only traded it. A shadow fell across me, heavy, absolute. Then pain, blinding, sudden as claws closed around my torso, lifting me like a child's toy. I dangled in the air, blood dripping from my side where his talons dug in. And then he spoke, not with a mouth, not with sound, but inside me. A voice like stone grinding beneath the earth, like every buried scream rising at once.
You want her to live. You want them all to live. Even now.
I couldn't move, could barely breathe, but I locked eyes with him. Burning coals for pupils. Endless. He leaned closer, the heat of his breath scorching my skin.
Then follow me.
The words didn't echo in my ears. They branded themselves into my soul, each syllable a chain, a hook. It had to be a lie, but Anna was still running, and I believed he could end her with a thought, so I nodded. Or maybe I didn't. Maybe I only felt like I had. It didn't matter. The chain closed around my wrist, and he laughed. A sound that didn't belong in any world. Then darkness took me. The memory fades, but the weight of it does not. I open my eyes. The square is silent again. The well dry and cracked. The world dim beneath a sky of ash. He is still there, the horned one, standing not far from me, his towering frame shrouded in heat that doesn't rise but presses down. The ground at his hooves hisses softly, like it's trying to pull away from him. And he is staring at me, unmoving, unblinking. His head tilts just slightly, as if seeing me, truly seeing me, for the first time in a long while. He knows. I feel it ripple across the tether between us, that silent thread of domination and will. He knows the memories have returned, that I remember everything. The village, Anna. His gaze is not cruel, nor kind, just considering. A slow exhale pours from his nostrils, thick with smoke and steam. It curls through the air like incense from a dying god's altar. And in the silence that follows, I feel it again. Uncertainty. He doesn't know what to do with me. Not yet. But then, something shifts. Barely there. A flicker. Movement at the very edge of sight. My breath catches. I turn my head slightly, just enough to catch it. A strand of red hair. Not flame, not blood. Hair. Tucked behind an ear. Catching the weak light like fire trapped in silk. There, half hidden behind the ruin of a stone archway, a figure, still, watching. My heart stutters. It can't be. But I know that shape, that small frame, the way she stands 1 foot forward as if always ready to run and never quite willing to. Anna. Alive? I don't dare blink. The world narrows to the space between us, the ruin, the breath I haven't yet taken. My mouth opens, but nothing comes out. I don't know what to say. I don't even know if words will hold. Then, the horned one moves. Not much, just his head, turning, slowly, purposefully. He sees her, and in the same breath, everything changes. The air thickens. The sky seems to lean in, darkening like a storm drawing breath. His eyes flare, not in surprise, in recognition. He remembers her, and he smiles. Slow, terrible. That same twisted curve I saw when the traveler became something else, when he first rose from the ashes of the man he had been. His voice doesn't reach my ears. It finds my soul.
End her.
She runs, fast. Faster than I remember her ever running. Hair streaming behind her like fire caught in the wind. Feet slamming the stone with desperate rhythm. She doesn't look back this time. There's no hesitation, no recognition. Only fear. She doesn't know it's me. Doesn't know that somewhere behind these claws and fangs and burning eyes, Vlad is still trying to claw his way to the surface. But my legs move on their own. I'm running faster now, faster than I should be able to. The chain burns beneath my skin, each step a command driven deeper into bone. Faster. My claws graze the ground as I gain speed, inhuman, relentless. She veers through the ruins, leaping over a fallen beam, ducking beneath a half-collapsed arch. But I'm catching up. My body moves like it remembers a hunt it never chose. Stone breaks beneath my steps. Sparks fly from my heels. I'm gaining on her. She won't outrun me. She can't. And I don't know what terrifies me more, that I'm about to catch her, or that I can't stop. I leap, a single bound, unnaturally long, weightless in the air for just a second too long. And then I crash down. On her! She screams. A short gasping sound, cut off by the force of my landing. We tumble through ash and stone, her body pinned beneath mine. She thrashes, but she's no match for the strength that isn't mine anymore. I try to speak, to tell her it's me, but the only sound that escapes my throat is a guttural growl deep and monstrous. She goes still, frozen by the sound, her eyes locked on mine, wide with terror. I feel my claw lift, slowly, deliberately. No command now, just momentum. My hand presses against her chest. No. I try to pull back, but the chain tightens. The claw pierces flesh. A thin line of blood wells up. Her breath shudders. My own stops. Stop, please, stop. I try to scream, but there is no voice left in me. And then she moves. Not to run, not to beg. Her hand closes around something under her cloak. A sword, old, worn, familiar. The hilt carved with the crest of our village. The one I used to polish long ago when I still believed in heroes. I freeze. The blade gleams faintly. And Anna, eyes wide, face streaked with dirt and blood and fear, drives it upward, straight into my heart. The sound is soft, a wet, dull slide. I don't cry out, I just stop. The chain loosens, the pressure lifts, my claw withdraws, and I roll off her, crumpling to the blackened earth. The sky above swims with smoke, the stars barely visible. I see her silhouette rise, shaking, alive, and walking away. Each step a miracle, each breath she takes a mercy. I feel it relief, even as the fire inside me dims, even as the world grows cold. I hope she makes it. I hope she forgets me. I hope she lives. The world is quiet now. No commands, no chains, no fire. Just the cold settling in my chest where the blade still rests, and the faint sound of footsteps growing fainter. Anna. Her name echoes through the hollow of my mind, softer than a whisper, louder than any scream. I cling to it, not to the village, not to the past, not even to myself, only to her, the way she smiled once in the sun, the way she said my name, the way she ran, not to escape, but to survive. Please live. That's all I ever wanted in the end, isn't it? Just her, alive, a flicker of warmth in a world that burned. My eyes blur, the sky grows darker, the pain fades, the cold deepens, and then at last the dark finds me, not cruel, not kind, just quiet, and I let go, thinking of her.